Good to see you. Welcome up. I got you. What are you talking about, Ethel?
I'm trying to have a big one.
I want you to have a seat. You're going to sit right here. You're going to sit right here. Is this okay right there?
One eye gonna ask for forgiveness.
Fine. You've done wonderful.
Hi, stranger.
Hi, stranger. Never be stranger. I know it's been a long
You,
time.
dearly.
I know. We're going to see each other tonight.
Right.
He lied and lied and lied.
She's
There
high.
she is. Hi, Elizabeth.
Come take a jacket on. You'll eat.
Yeah, I guess I better.
I don't know.
How many jackets you got on?
All we can find.
I'll put it on
Need
my
that, put it over.
shirt.
Do you need this or can I put this?
I can't believe this.
I don't mind.
You don't know what we're doing yet.
Well, I still don't. Cindy just told me we had a special guest.
We got more. Well,
And the
we
police
got a
will
whole
be here
bunch
very
of.
shortly.
Well, first of all, Jack, I want to. I guess you know our mayor.
Yes.
Yes, Patrick
Sure
Skull,
do.
his sweet wife, Mary. Right here. Okay. Anyway, they got something for you first. Okay. So you take it.
Jack, good evening.
Good
Looks
evening.
looks like you're gonna have a fun time
I
tonight.
haven't seen you since you knocked on my door. I haven't had. If I had to, I'd be there.
Well, you can call me anytime.
Mind your
I
way.
think that's right.
I remember going to your house. But looks like you're gonna have a fun time. Now, I'm married, I'm not allowed to have fun. Jack, too often we in our lives, we wait too long to recognize people. So we didn't want to wait too long to recognize you, and I have something I'd
You
like to
almost
read.
did.
You don't look too bad, do you? Jack, I have a City of Kingsport commendation. Whereas Jack Clevinger, entrepreneur, community volunteer, man of God, friend, husband, and brother. And whereas he spent his youth on the family farm, learning the true definition of hard work and the value of the dollar. And whereas while attending William King High School in Abingdon, he managed several sports teams, including football, basketball, and baseball. While there, he also met his now wife, Shirley Sutherland. And whereas he served in the Army straight out of school, receiving a congratulations letter from President Eisenhower, his 2-year stint was mostly spent in Greenland, and he often enjoyed making and selling ice cream to the Air Force Special Service. There's a story behind that.
Been popular in the Arctic.
And whereas he worked at and eventually owned Kingsport Hide and Metal, later known as C&C Enterprise, which was utilized by Eastman and the Kingsport community as a whole, and whereas he also served on the Kingsport Board of Zoning and Appeals, thank you very much, and as an elder at his church, whereas Clevinger eventually became a realtor and investor with Keller Williams Realty, where he remains today as a beloved friend and trusted colleague. Now therefore I, Patrick W. Shaw, Mayor of the City of Kingsport, and on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Kingsport, do hereby commend Jack Clevinger for your inspiring perseverance and leadership that has served the community from childhood to adulthood and beyond. Signed by me, with my seal, Patrick W. Shaw, Mayor. And Jack, you have led an interesting, colorful, and productive life, and just all around great citizen. And we wish you many
Thank you.
more years.
Thank you all for being here. I can't believe it. I'm not prepared for a speech, but you know, back another time I will.
Don't get it started.
That's about all I can say.
Phone now.
Call home and see if I'm having a nightmare. Well, I appreciate every one of you, and I love you all.
Love you.
And it's nice to have friends like this. I never dreamed it.
Oh, we got lots more that couldn't make it, but they wanted to. And it was special invitation only, so we could have had this room.
Well,
You know, it's
I
limited
thank
space.
you a lot.
And
All
you're
of you.
welcome. Thank you.
Coming out here and spending your best Monday night. Merry Christmas. So may I say? Is Colin Johnson here?
No, he's not.
Well, my phone was ringing when
So Cindy is going to tell us some little details about Jack. So Cindy, take it away.
Hold it right here so that the light's on this side. There you go. Okay, everybody hear me okay? Okay, Jack Clevinger, entrepreneur, businessman, friend, husband, and dad, was born May 22nd, 1934 in Buchanan County, Grundy, Virginia. Specifically, Hoodow Hollow, or Hoodow Holler in the proper vernacular. His early years would probably be unimaginable to most of us here tonight. He was born at his grandmother's house and then lived his early childhood in a one-room house with no electricity, no running water, and used an outhouse. His family grew everything they ate, and they had chickens and a milk cow. Dad remembers his first soft drink and his first bologna sandwich. He wore coveralls and knickers and was thrilled when he finally got a pair of denim overalls. He has a brother, which many of you have heard him refer to him as his sister. As the story goes, he wanted a baby sister, but found out he had a brother when the doctor came to the house to collect medical fees. He had saved some money, just a little over $1, and his money was used to pay the doctor. So he was without a sister and without his money. To this day, Dad still refers to his brother as his sister. In the spirit of being a young entrepreneur, Dad helped to dam up a creek to make a huge swimming hole for himself and his friends. The creek stopped flowing because of the dam, and several farms wondered what had happened to their water source. When he tore the dam down, those same farms were flooded from the rush of water that flowed downstream. He and his brother, used to pick up pop bottles, as they were called then, and sell them for 2 cents apiece. They picked up tobacco leaves that had fallen off the tobacco trucks and also sold them. In another instance, Dad was sent out to milk the cow, which was notably a stubborn varmint. The cow ran from him down through Hoodow Holler. He chased the cow and took a fence post and beat it all the way back home. The cow didn't give milk for 3 or 4 days, but it never ran from him again. Dad moved to Abingdon, Virginia following the death of his father in 1945. He attended Hall's Bottom School, which was a one-room schoolhouse for grades 1 through 7. There were only 10 or 12 students for the total enrollment. Water for the school had to be carried in buckets from the creek to the school. In the spirit of his true entrepreneurship, he recalled pouring some of the water through the cracks in the floor so that the students could make another trip to get water. In the 5th grade, he helped his teacher, Ms. Rudder, teach class. He said they were out most days by noon. One night about 3 a.m., Dad lit a mortar outside of his house. The mortar soared into the sky and exploded. It woke most of the entire town of Abingdon. When he realized the impact of the noise from the mortar, he ran and got into bed and pretended to be asleep. The only person asleep in the entire area. Firemen and policemen responded and were out looking for the source of the explosion, as they thought a bomb had been dropped on the town. I imagine the source of the explosion is still a mystery to this day. Dad's first job at 12 years old was digging out a bank behind a wall at a motel. He earned 50 cents a day, and after 3 days, he decided it certainly wasn't the dream job he wanted to keep. On the side, he contracted yards to mow, and depending on who you asked for the true story, he made his brother mow the yards. In 1949, at 14 years old, Dad had his first real job at Pennington's Grill. He worked part-time for $15 a week. To this day, he can still quote the entire menu if you ask him. I'm sure some of you have heard him say, with lightning speed, I might add. Hamburger, cheeseburger, ham and egg, bacon, lettuce, tomato, tomato, cheese, roast pork, roast beef, barbecue, hot dog, chicken salad, peanut butter, and jelly.
That's right. You got it right. That's correct.
Even now, lots of servers in various restaurants around town have had the pleasure of him quoting that menu he used to serve years ago. He likes to give those same servers a hard time by ordering a whole wheat on rye sandwich or ordering plain water because he's driving. Also at this time, he held a part-time job as a gas station attendant at a Texaco. There was no self-service then, so fuel, oil, clean windshields, and air in the tires was the name of his game. In 1951, Dad began working at the Moonlight Drive-In Theater in Abingdon. He started with doing a variety of jobs such as cleaning and concessions. He learned to run the projectors and worked his way up the ladder into managing about 13 theaters. Putting his entrepreneurial skills to work, he wrote ads for the Moonlight Theater, and he filled the theater full by hosting special events such as a baby night, where the theater gave away puppies, a fishing car night, where a few A-model Fords were given away, and a chicken chase night, where moviegoers could chase the chickens and keep the one that they caught.
That's right.
He also showed the first movie, Drums in the Deep South, about the Civil War at the Beacon Theater in Bluntville, Tennessee. Dad also held a short-term job during this time of driving a dry cleaning laundry truck. He said he quickly learned the hard way if he was going to make any money to hold the clean clothes hostage in the truck, receive the payment from the customers first, and only then return the clean clothes after he received the payment for his services. Dad attended William King High School in Abingdon. He managed the football, basketball, and baseball teams. He said he never attended many social functions during his high school years because he was always working. It was there he met a cute little cheerleader named Shirley Sutherland, who claimed her spot in the front seat of his car. During his senior year, Dad received the superlative awards for friendliest, most dependable, and most likely to succeed. He graduated in 1953 and was drafted into the United States Army in August of 1954 upon receiving his congratulations letter from President Dwight D. Eisenhower. This was during the time of the Korean War. He was stationed at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, for the Battle of Fort Jackson, as boot camp was referred to. He served in the 101st Airborne Division, known as the Screaming Eagles. After boot camp, he was sent to Thule, Greenland for what was supposed to be a 3-month stay. However, he spent 13 months there on the polar ice cap as a supply clerk, ordering and receiving supplies from Atlanta, Georgia, and distributing the supplies to the soldiers on the ice cap. Here again, his entrepreneurial skills shined, as the soldiers often benefited from receiving special food and supplies under the table, so to speak, such as ham. At that time, he also worked on the side for the United States Air Force Special Services, making and serving ice cream at a designated place soldiers could go to for relaxation, meditation, or some downtime. Upon his honorable discharge and arriving home at the end of May 1956, Dad said he ran home and kissed his bride-to-be, Shirley, who became Mrs. Jack Clevinger on September 7th of that year. About 10 days after his discharge from the Army, Dad went to work for an uncle at Kingsport Hide and Metal, handling animal hides, batteries, and scrap metal. That job was only supposed to be temporary in order to help his uncle, but it became a permanent job. In 1960, the animal hide business was dropped and the company changed its name to Kingsport Iron and Metal. After the death of his uncle, Dad purchased the company in 1972. During his time of ownership, the time of the company, Kingsport benefited from his handling of scrap metal from the public and also Tennessee Eastman Company. He is responsible for developing and placing the first trash dumpster boxes in and around the Kingsport area. That company was founded as Riverport Refuse and later was expanded and became Clevinger and Clevinger Enterprise, or simply C&C Enterprise. He later sold that company to Waste Management. In January of 2005, Dad announced his retirement after 50 years in the scrap metal recycling business. He sold Kingsport Iron and Metal in January, and in March of that same year, without missing a beat, he obtained his real estate license and began working as a realtor at Century 21 Able Realty and Auction, which later became Century 21 Legacy. In November of 2009, he became a realtor and investor with Keller Williams Realty. He remains there today. He has worked with hundreds of people over the years, and he has a special ability to deal with people of all sorts. He loves to talk better than any politician.
You're pretty good.
He can be funny or serious or anywhere in between as the need calls for. Many of his past buyers and sellers still call and check on him from time to time. Dad also served as a Boy Scout leader for several years. He led, instructed, and advised many young scouts by his own example of an upright and moral life of serving God and country. He served many years on the Kingsport Board of Zoning Appeals. He's a man of God, he loves the Lord, and has served as an elder in the church for many, many years. He still serves in that capacity today. Through the years, all the church children, say that fast 10 times, church children called him the Candy Man because he always had a pocket full of candy. Kids always approached him with an open hand because he was waiting to give them a special treat. Dad leads his own family by example. He taught us to love the Lord our God with all of our heart, soul, and mind. He taught us to love others and to be sensitive to their needs. It's inspiring to each of us here tonight to look at the perseverance of a man who has served his community so well from childhood into adulthood and beyond. He has withstood a severe case of COVID, resulting in 2 serious heart attacks. Yet he continues to diligently serve his community today with tremendous ambition and loyalty. Congratulations from all of us to our entrepreneur, businessman, friend, dad, and husband upon receiving this first award for perseverance.
Thank you. They say there's a little bit of truth in every lie.
So Jack, from all of your KW family, this is not just about for Keller Williams, but for everything you've accomplished in life. Thank you for your humor and your continuous grit and your spirit. And from me personally, I want to thank you for all your encouragement throughout the years and for believing in me that I could be way more than a Coalfield girl. So, thank you.
For a Coalfield girl, you're excellent.
Thank you. And so I want you to know that this is the very first Perseverance Award, but year after year there's going to be an award named after you given to the person the agent that amplifies Jack's fighting spirit. Now this is about onward and forward to see what you do next. So we just wanted to honor you for all you have done.
Well. I don't know if I can handle all this or not.
I think you can. After all that, I think this is going to be easy.
Well, you even spelled my name correct.
Oh my God, that was Brittany.
Thank you, B. Most people put that E in there instead of the I. And thank you. This I just can't express to you all how I feel, and it's really killer. In a meeting last week, I expressed to the investors a little bit about what I thought of our investor company, which is the best that's ever been here, and I think y'all will agree with me. And it's going to continue and even get better. I know that, and I have my confidence in the people that's licensed working there. Our leadership is excellent. Couldn't do any better, and I just look forward to seeing more success, whether I'm in it or out of it. Thank you a lot. If I can get to the root of this, then I'll deal with it.
No, I had water. Well, I got it.
I don't know. We'll pass it to you.
I'll take one when you can, don't rush.
Cindy, did you want some liver?
Yes.
Are you going to eat? What do you eat? You got a what? Salmon.
Salmon. Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't
Sounds
think
good.
of that.
Sounds
Nice.
good.
I appreciate this.
Salmon.
That's pretty much it. I think salad and bread, I appreciate it. Please feel free. Anybody want to say anything? We got cameras.
Good. You know where
We got
Rudell
professional
is?
video going on. Don't waste
You know where
no
the big curve is?
Told about this.
You know where the big curve is up the top. That's where I grew up when I was a youth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up on Watkins Ranch, right in front of Modern
Watkins
Sales and
Branch. Oh
Service.
yeah, that's Royal City now.
Yeah, it is. Yep, that's where I grew up.
Kept up with it. There's nothing over there now but a Walmart.
Barely that.
Since I left, they closed the town.
Pretty good, you're not wrong about it.
Hey, silence will kill us. Let's
I
not do
know,
this.
that's what I'm saying. Joe, what's wrong with you? You're awful quiet. You,
I mean,
Yeah, I heard what you said. You knew then? How come
I
you
know there's
knew and I
something to that. Those stories that we didn't hear.
She even made me change shirts before I came down here. She said I had on my floppy.
Bible study Wednesday, we meet in the sanctuary for the night. Informal.
Huh?
It's not gonna take your shirt.
I know you got some stories, yeah.
Well,
Or that, no, give them, they're using.
so, I don't know where I can tell them in this mixed company or not.
I think about everybody in here's been a paid weller from time to time.
I thought you wouldn't depend on me for entertainment. You'd have hired entertainment. But you know, people tell me, they say, Jack, there's millions of comedians out of work and you're trying to be one.
somebody just asked me, they said, are you doing anything on the 21st? And I said, no. But honestly, where you are now?
That's the way we get it done.
It's big dogs.
Really, I guess I've been around around Joe Johnson more than any of you, I think, including maybe Frank went to school with him. I don't know, but I've known him since he was 11, and I contribute a whole lot of my family success, happiness, faith, and everything else on Joe Johnson and his family, of what they have always meant to us and what he still means to us. And you all, if you were as old as me, you'd really understand what a treasure it is having a man like this over our company. And I just can't say enough good about him.
I thought you were gonna say you thank Joe for all your success.
Well, he contributed a lot to it. And I look forward to some more of it. So
So do we.
when I can't get a hold of him, I get Frank, or vice versa. So I sort of pair them together here.
And you made it anyway.
Okay, I've got a thought that
I'm glad I didn't get what I deserved. That's all I can say.
Now, if you'll hush a minute, I'm going to say something.
Well, you want to speak now?
I'm going to talk, and I told the investors this on last Thursday when we met, so it'll be a makeover for you, Randy. I apologize, Frank. But Jack hadn't been in the business too long. He got a hold of a buyer on a $280,000 house that wanted to offer $230,000 just because he thought he could. And Jack said, I'm not a fool with you. And I said, well, Jack, legally you're not the seller, and so you don't know what that seller will do. It's not even our listing, it's somebody else. Right? But believe it, at that time, offers weren't like they are today, where you have 7 on one house, and I think it was Kevin Marsh had 28 this past year on one house, 28. I had to put it on a spreadsheet to figure out, but anyway, it wasn't that way. And so Jack called the guy in and wrote it up for $230, and gave him 48 hours to respond, or 12 hours, or whatever it was. And so got the offer back, and it was just rejected. Imagine that. They didn't counter, they didn't do anything, they just rejected. And so Jack called, he said, what happens now? I said, call him and tell him, and see if he's got any more money in his pocket, I guess. And he called the guy in and put him in the conference room and sat down, and this is where this classic phrase comes up. And he sat the guy down and said Mr. Jones or whatever, he said, the sellers considered your offer, having looked at it and saw the $230. Well, they just felt that it wasn't a platform for negotiation. And I thought that's brilliant. It really is. And I'll tell you, I've used that a time. And it floats. It really does. But they just didn't believe it was a platform for negotiation. And the guy came to 265, and he sold the house. He sure did. So that's what I remember about Mr. Clevinger. So now we're going to eat onion rings. Aren't you eating anything yet?
We got some stuff.
We've got little mama over here now. She's eating for 2 now, and it's a little girl.
Oh, is it a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a name yet?
Yes, we like to make a million judgment. So Michael's going to make this judgment.
Are you
So
sure
that's
that's
our
right?
judgment. Okay. That is very pretty. Thank you.
I showed them.